Bcom semester 1 English medium. Hello guys. This is your last chapter of the syllabus of economics, and today we are going to start your last chapter, and that is theory of production cost. This chapter is very easy to understand, and it is not much long as compared to earlier chapters. So let us discuss step by step. So these are the points of this chapter that we need to discuss during the lecture, and this may take 2 or 3 lectures to complete the chapter. So guys, here we are going to start with the basic introduction of theory of production cost. So guys, title is also quite very easy to understand, that the cost that we occur during the process of production is known as production cost, and how it is important for study, and what are the different things that are considered in this production cost that we will study in this chapter. So guys, here we can see introduction, and after the introduction, concept of cost, what is cost, short and long run cost, fixed cost and variable cost, average fixed cost, average variable cost, average total cost, importance of distinction between fixed cost and variable cost, then marginal cost, relations between average cost and marginal cost, then long run average cost curve, long run marginal cost curve, modern theory of cost, short run cost in modern theory, long run cost in modern theory, and other concept of cost. So this is what all about chapters, and as I have told you that we are going to start with the introduction. And guys, also you need to focus on each and every sentence and each and every term and concept, because your exam will be conducted based on MCQ. So MCQ can be created from any basic point, so you need to focus on each and every sentence that I will read during the lecture. So guys, here the first point is introduction of theory of production cost. Let's read. The price of a commodity depends upon its demand and supply. On the demand side, it is utility of the article to the consumer which plays an important part in price determination, while on the supply side, it is cost of production of the article which plays an important part in price determination. The supply of a commodity or service depends primarily on its cost. It is the cost of production in relation to price that guides a firm whether to produce, how much to produce and sell, and whether to expand or contrast the output. In this chapter, we shall examine the nature of the cost curves in detail. So guys, here I will ask you a very basic question, that if you are a producer of a particular product, and if you want to sell this product in the market, then how can you decide the price of the product? So first of all, you need to consider the cost of production that is occurred during the production process. For example, you are producing, uh, we can say, a cold drink. Then for a bottle of cold drink, how much production cost occurs, that you need to find it out, and after that you need to add your profit of margin on that, and then you can sell this product in the market for to get a we can say minimum or a particular rate of profit from that product. So guys, for example, I produce a cold drink and I occur 9 rupees for the production cost. So I may sell this cold drink for 10 rupees or 11 rupees in the market, so that I can get at least 2 rupees profit in that. So this is what the production cost all about. Now we will move further to see the concept of cost. The term cost have wide variety of meaning. It is not unique and a single valued concept. On the contrary, there are various types of cost, and it is important to make a distinction between its various categories of follows. So guys, now we will see the different, or we can say the variation of cost. First one is money cost. What is money cost? Let's see. The most widely accepted concept of cost is the money cost of production. It means total money expenditure incurred by a firm in producing a commodity. It is aggregate of various sums of money paid to the factors of production for the services rendered in the producing a commodity. For example, The money cost of production includes money expenditure of a firm on wages and salaries paid to the labor, payment incurred on machinery and equipment, payment of raw material, power, light, fuel, transportation, advertisement, etc. Payment for rent and insurance, payment to government and local bodies by the way of taxes, octroi, etc. So guys, money cost is a cost which need to pay for the production process to the production factors. So whatever the production factors that we use for the production purpose, and we need to pay them the money which is known as money cost. For example, laborers are working in our factory to do the production, then we need to pay the wages to them, then the wages is considered as a money cost. And we also need to pay the taxes, we also need to pay much other factors like we can consider as salary, we can also consider the payment of raw material, and the depreciation will also consider it in the money cost. So guys, this is what the money cost all about means. To do the production process, whatever the money we need to pay to the laborers, to the employees, whatever the money we need to pay for the fuel, for the electricity, whatever the money we need to pay for raw material, for equipment. So to do the production, whatever the money we need to pay is known as money cost. Now we will move further to see the real cost. Another concept of cost is the concept of real cost. Real cost implies on the exertion and sacrifices which the various factors of production have to undergo to produce the commodity. The workers, for example, have to put in efforts, and capitalists have to save and uh, wait, and landlord have to forego and use their property. In other words, of Professor Marshall, the exertion of all different kinds of labor that are directly or indirectly involved in making it, together with the absence, or rather the waiting required for saving and capital used in making it. All these efforts and sacrifice together will be called the real cost of production of that commodity. So guys, here if we talk about real cost, then it is not about money, it is about efforts and the sacrifice, whatever the efforts and sacrifice given by the labors and all other factors of the production is known as real cost. So guys, you need not to focus on money, it is about something that we feel, it is about something that we can see, we can observe, that the labor who sacrifice his 8 or 9 hours every day to do the production process for our company, then it is known as real cost. So guys, it is not only about the labors, but it is also about all other factors of the production which do the sacrifice for the production is known as real cost. Now we will move further to read the next paragraph on the screen. That is, the existence of such real cost is beyond dispute, but the existence of such cost is one thing and its relation to money cost another. If, for example, work becomes less disagreeable or more pleasing, would the rate of wages tend to fall? Moreover, not all kind of labor involves pain. The most highly paid work is generally enjoyable. Again, saving does not always mean sacrifice, though it may involve waiting. Similarly, the supply of land does not involve any effort or sacrifice, but we do include rent in money cost. To say that rent does not either into money cost or to be lost contact with reality. But if money costs do not represent pain or sacrifice, how are they fixed? This brings us to the third concept of cost, that is the concept of opportunity cost. So guys, here we need to just focus on real cost. Means real cost is a cost which can be considered as a sacrifice of a particular factor of the production. Now we will move further to the opportunity cost. The concept of opportunity cost was first systematically developed by the Australian economist in the view of the inadequacy of the real cost theory, and it occupies a very important place in the modern analysis. So guys, an MCQ can be created from this, that by whom the opportunity cost developed, or MCQ can be made that uh, opportunity cost is developed by dash. Then you need to know that the Australian economist in the view of inadequacy of the real cost theory, and in occupies a very important place in the modern analysis. The opportunity cost of any commodity is the next best alternative commodity that is sacrificed or foregone. For example, here guys, you need to focus on the example to understand the point very clearly. That is, for example, the factors of production which are used for the manufacturer of a car may also be used for manufacture of machinery or any other equipment. Now, the opportunity cost of production of a car is the output of the machinery or any other equipment foregone or sacrifice which could have been produced with the same amount of factors that have produced a car. Thus, the factors of the production of one commodity involves the sacrifice of the production of something else. The commodity cost of anything is the alternative that has been foregone. As Dr. Marshall has uh, put in, the real ultimate cost of anything is the loss of that alternative which must be sacrificed when resources of any kind are devoted to a particular object. Hence, Behman observes that the unborn is the cost of the born. So, guys, here we need to understand opportunity cost, and let me give you an example that if you have a land to do the farming. So, guys, for to do the farming, we have land. So, in that land, we can grow wheat, we can grow we can say we can grow many other crops on that. For example, we can go bajra, we can go grow corn, we can grow wheat. So there are so many cereals and so many pulses, so many crops that we can grow in a particular land. But if we choose, for example, we choose wheat to grow in that land. So guys, if we have decided to grow wheat in that land, then we need to sacrifice all other alternatives to grow wheat at the same time. So guys, we cannot grow two things, or we can say two crops in a particular land at the same time. It is quite impossible. So we need to sacrifice all other options and only select one option to do the production process. So the options that we have sacrificed to decide one crop is known as opportunity cost. Now we will see move further. We will see in the next paragraph, that is, such that is the doctrine of opportunity cost. Cost tend to equal the payment that factors of production would have got in alternative employments. As Professor Mayers point out, the cost of production of any unit of commodity is the value of factors of production used in producing that unit. The value of these factors of production is measured by the best alternative used to which they might have been put had this particular unit of commodity not been produced. So guys, that's it what all about the production opportunity cost. Now we will move further to the next point, that is short and long run. Let's discuss what is short run cost and what is long run cost. After discussing the concept of cost as used in economics, we are now in the position to study the nature of cost curves both in the short run and in the long run. The short run is a period of time which output can be increased or decreased by changing only one amount of variable factors such as labor, raw material, chemicals, etc. So guys, if we talk about here, you need to focus on the explanation that is given by me. So guys, in the short run, as you know very well that to do the production, there are many production factors. For example, we need land to do the production, we need labor to do the production, we need capital to do the production, we need raw material to do the production. So there are many production factors. But if we talk about short run production cost, then in the short run production cost, among all production factor, any one production factor can be increased or can be decreased. So guys, you need to focus that among all production factors, only one production factor is changed according to the situation, is known as short run production cost. So guys, for example, among all production factors, we increase labor to get more production. For example, currently we have 50 labors in our factory, but now we have decided to increase labors from 50 to 60. So we have increased our labors by 10. So as we have increased our labor, we will get more production than earlier. So guys, this is what the short run, because among all production factors, only one factor is increased, and that is known as short run production cost. So let's read further. The short run is a period of time in which output can be increased or decreased by changing only the amount of, only, that is only one, the amount of variable factors such as labor, raw material, chemical, etc. Among these, only one is increased. In short run, quantities of fixed factors such as capital equipment, factory building, top management personnel, etc. cannot be varied, means cannot be changed. Thus, in short run, firm cannot build a new plant or abandon an old one. If the firm wants to increase its output in the short run, it can do so only by using more labor or more raw material. It can increase its output in the short run by expanding the capacity of its existing plant or building a new plant with large capacity. Thus, the short run is a period of time in which the quantities of variable factors can be varied while the quantities of fixed factor remain unchanged. So, whatever the variable factors that we need to use can be varied, but if we talk about fixed factor, then the fixed factors remain unchanged. In the short run, the firm can change the scale of its operation, it cannot change its size. So guys, for example, we cannot change land, we cannot change machine. Only the factors that we can change in the short run, that are variable. Variable factors means raw material, labor. So raw material and labor are considered as a variable factor, and for the short run, the raw material can be increased or decreased. We can say the labor or can also be increased or decreased. So uh, when there is an increment in the variable factors, it is known as short run. So if a company wants to increase its production in short run, in the short period of time, then it needs to increase its variable factors. But if company wants to increase its production in for the long period of time, then company can increase variable as well as fixed factors also. So let's see. On other hand, long run is a period of time in which quantities of all factors, fixed as well as variable, both can be changed. Thus, in the long run, output can be increased not only by using more quantities of labor or raw material, but also by expanding the size of capital equipment or building a new plant with a larger productive capacity. In the long run, therefore, the firm can change not only its scales of operation but its size too. So, guys, this is what the long run and the short run. For the short run, only the variable factors can be increased or decreased. But if we talk about long run, then in the long run, company increase its fixed factors and as well as the variable factors. We can say the size of company will also be increased, or the size of company will also be expanded according to the expansions in the variable as well as fixed factors. So this is what all about the fixed and variable factors. Now we will see fixed cost and variable cost. So till now we are discussing fixed production factors and variable production factors. Now we will see fixed cost and variable cost. Fixed cost and variable cost are also known as supplementary and prime cost respectively. Fixed cost means supplementary and variable cost means prime cost respectively. Respectively means one by one. Fixed cost are those items of expenditure which are independent of output. That is, that do not change with the changes in output. For example, you are producing 10 units and you are producing 100 units. Fixed cost will remain same. For example, I have um, I have taken a land as a rent on the rent, and I need to pay 5,000 rent for the land that I have acquired. So whether I produce 10 unit in that land, or whether I produce 100 unit in that land, or whether I produce 10,000 unit in that land, I need to pay 5,000 rent on that. So the rent of the land is a fixed cost. No matter how much production you do, you need to pay the rent that is decided earlier by the landlord. So rent will be considered as a fixed cost. So here the sentence written, fixed costs are those items of expenditure which are independent of the output, that is, they do not change with the changes in output. These costs are fixed amount which must be incurred by a firm in the short run, whether the output is small or large. No matter what the output is, fixed cost will remain same. Even if the firm closes down for the sometime in the short run but remains in business, these costs have to be incurred by it. Fixed costs are also known as overhead cost and include such items as contractual rent, interest on borrowed capital, insurance charges, property taxes, manager's salary, watchman's wages, etc. are the cost which is fixed no matter how much production is. These fixed costs cannot be altered in the short run. They cease only when the business is finally closed down and labor and capital is shifted to another business. So, guys, this is what all about fixed cost. Here in the figure 1, uh, FF is the fixed cost curve which is parallel to x-axis. The cost remains fixed at OF whether the firm produces OA or OB or OC output. So, guys, here we can see this thing in this diagram, that the fixed cost will remain same no matter what the output is. Here we are given three output A, output B, and output C. No matter how much production you do, you only produce, for example, 20 units or 200 units or 2000 units. No matter how much production of yours, fixed cost will remain same. If you need to pay, for example, 5000 rupees, no matter how much production you do, if you produce 5000 units, then also you need to pay 5000. If you produce 10,000 units, then also you need to pay 10,000 or 5,000. And if you produce 20,000 units, then also you need to pay 5,000. So fixed cost will remain same. It is not altered with the changes in the output. One important one important point may be noted carefully. Fixed costs are not fixed permanently. In order to increase production in the long run, a firm will have to increase the size of its plant, invest more capital, pay more rent, and so on. The fixed cost become variable in the long run. The distribution between fixed cost and variable cost holds good only for to another business. So, guys, here we talk here the we can say the stability of fixed cost will remain constant in only the short run. But if we take this example for long run, then in the long period of time, fixed cost will also become variable cost, because in the long run, company will expand its business, company need to acquire more land, company need to acquire more machinery. So company need to hire more managers to manage the expanded business, so that in the long run fixed cost will also be we can say the variable cost. And now we will see in figure 1, FF is okay, so we have already done this. Now we will see variable cost on other hand are those costs which vary, or we can say change with the output, and include such item as wages of labor employed, price of raw material, fuel and power used, transportation costs, etc. So, guys, on the other hand, here we need to discuss about variable cost. What is variable cost? Variable cost is a cost which is increased according to the increment in the production. So as you increase your production, your variable cost will also be increased. For example, raw material is considered as a raw material is considered as a variable cost, because as more production as you want to do, you need to buy more raw material. So as you buy more raw material, the cost of raw material will be increased. So, guys, here we need to discuss about variable cost. So variable cost on the other hand are those costs which vary or change with the output, and include such item such as wages of labor employed, price of raw material, fuel and power used, transportation costs, etc. If the firm is closed down for some time in short run, it will not use the variable factors of production, and therefore will not incur any variable cost. Variable costs are incurred only when the firm produces some output, and these vary directly with the level of output. That is, variable could increase with an increase in production and decrease with a decrease in production. This will be clear from figure 2. So, guys, here we can see the explanation that we already have read uh, will be in the graphical format that is on the screen. So guys, here in this graph we are given output on the x-axis and variable cost on the y-axis. As you can see over here that as the production is increased from A to B and B to C, the variable cost is also increased from P to Q and Q to R. So according to the increment in the production, or we can say in the output, the variable cost will also be increased according to the increment in the output. So here OV is the variable cost curve. The variable cost increases with the every increase in the production. For example, when the output is OA, the variable cost is PA, and according to that graphical format, here we are given the explanation that we really need not to read. And here we will move further to see the total cost of a business firm is the sum of total variable cost and fixed cost. So here we are given total variable cost and total fixed cost, and we are also given the total cost curve. So when we add variable cost and fixed cost, it is known as total cost, and the graphical form of total cost will be like this, that here on the y-axis we are given cost, and on the x-axis we are given output. So guys, you know it very well that the total fixed cost will remain same no matter what the output is, and the variable cost will be increased according to the increment in the output. So as the variable cost is also included in the total cost, cost will be increased according to the increment in the output. Thus total cost is equal to total fixed cost plus total variable cost. This can be represented diagrammatically. See figure 3. So guys, here we already have seen figure 3. Here, the total cost curve has been obtained by adding up vertically total fixed cost curve and total variable cost curve, because the total cost is the sum of total fixed cost and total variable cost. Now, guys, we need to see average fixed cost. So, let's see what is there in the average fixed cost. Average fixed cost is the total fixed cost divided by the number of unit produced. So, for example, uh, we occur for example 20,000 fixed cost and we produce 1,000 unit, then our average fixed cost will be 20. So where Q represent the number of unit of output produced, average fixed cost curve slopes downward. Here guys, you need to see the formula over here. You also need to remember this formula for the exam point of view. And now we will read further. Average fixed cost curve slopes downward throughout its length. See figure 4. As output increases, the total fixed cost spreads over more and more unit, and therefore average fixed cost goes on decreasing. So guys, you need to remember that average fixed cost slopes downwards throughout its length. So average fixed cost always downwards as the production is increased, and this can be seen in this diagram, that here the average fixed cost and output. So average fixed cost will be decreased as the production is increased. So guys, here you need to see over here and need to focus on this diagram, that for example, as you know very well that if you produce only 5 units, or if you produce 10 units, if you produce 100 units, your fixed cost will remain same. So if you produce only 5 units, then also your fixed cost will be, for example, if you need to pay 5,000 on that, so then what you need to do is 5,000 divided by your production. So as the number of products unit produced will be increased, your average fixed cost will be decreased, because the total fixed cost will be distributed among the total output. So if you need to understand this concept clearly, then you need to focus in this graph and also need to read this explanation given over here. So guys, another property of AFC curve is that if we pick up any point on the AFC curve, AFC means average fixed cost, and multiply the average fixed cost at the point which the corresponding quantity of the output produced, the product is always the same. This is because the product of average fixed cost and the corresponding quantity of the output will yield total fixed cost, which remains constant throughout. The shape of average fixed cost curve therefore is rectangular hyperbola. So guys, this kind of curve is known as rectangular hyperbola, and this can be also asked in your exam. That you need to remember this, that average fixed cost is always downslope, because as the production is increased, average fixed cost is decrease. Now guys, we will see average variable cost. So we have discussed 5 points in this lecture. Now we will see the average variable cost from next lecture. Meanwhile, that's it for today in this lecture. You need to focus on each and every point. This chapter is also very important for the exam point of view, and you also need to solve the MCQs given at the end of the chapter, so that you can make the concept clear, and you also need to refer each and every point given in this chapter. So guys, that's it for today in this lecture, as we have discussed 5 points. Now in the next lecture we will start from the point 6, average variable cost. Thank you guys.